Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rachel Morris, and I am the Executive Director with the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce. And my co-host, as always, on my Roseville Connection series is the one and only Alan Smith. Hey, Alan, I need like a little
Hey,
clap
yeah,
sound,
let's
you
do it.
know,
Yeah.
to kind of get us
Good to
started.
see you. Good to see you back on the show.
Like,
Thanks for having me
absolutely.
again.
Absolutely. Now, the fun thing about this tonight is that we normally do not go live with this in the evening, but
Right.
for this segment, it's one we're excited. We have a full packed program today. We have a bunch of people, as we like to say, backstage waiting to come on stage to talk to everyone. Um, Man, if you're watching us, we are live on Twitter, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook on the Rolesville Chamber pages. So if you are out there, if you're a student and you're an athlete or a coach or something like that, retweet us on Twitter. If you're a parent, share us on Facebook so that people can see. We have a lot of student athletes in the background that will be talking to you tonight, and some coaches. So we don't want to prolong it. We are just going to be kind of get right into it. So
And
if you,
also drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching
yes,
from
if
too.
you comment, we will pull your comments into our segment. So first up, Alan, I'll let you kind of, we'll just roll like we always do. First up on our show, we do have this evening Drew Brown Jr., who is the president of the Rolesville Athletic Club Boosters. And so Drew will actually be talking to us tonight, and telling us a little bit about the Booster Club and a little bit about what it is that they do and all that other wonderful stuff. So we're not going to prolong it, Drew. We're just going to turn it over to you.
Welcome.
You're muted, Drew.
Of course I am. Rachel, now thanks for having me. Again, my name is Drew Brown Jr. I am the president of the Rolesville Athletic Club, which is the sports boosters for Rolesville High School. The goal of the sports boosters is to make sure that our athletes have what is needed to compete and what is needed to look good while they compete. And so some needs and some want to make sure that our kids have the best that they can have in Wake County. Some of our goals of the club are to increase our membership. Right now, we have approximately 75 members in the Booster Club. That's more. It was 32 years ago, so it's double. But we still would like to have more members in our Booster Club. It doesn't have to just be parents. It can be members of the community, business leaders. Anyone can join the Booster Club. It's anyone who wants to build athletics, progress, and do well. We also want to increase our visibility.
Drew, for
Yeah.
those folks that do want to join, how do they do that?
If you go to our website, and I think y'all can put it up there for me, is racnc.com. Again, www.racnc.com. And if you scroll to the bottom, it's going to say join the boosters.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Great question. So another one of our goals is to increase volunteerism. Everyone always says 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And, that's true in church, and it's also true with Booster Club. We do have some dedicated volunteers, but we need more. I mean, we have over 500 student athletes. And again, we only have 70 members of the Booster Club. So we definitely want to get people to volunteer and help out. It could be as simple as selling concessions, cleaning up, selling apparel, recruiting sponsors, showing up at events to kind of guide and direct. So there are a lot of different ways that you can support our Booster Club. Communication, you can be on the social, if you're good with Twitter and Instagram, you can be on the communication committee and just spread messages that we have.
Drew, can we and with the volunteers at the events, are we able to go back to events now with the recent orders? And I know with the football games, I don't think we could go until some of the final games. So where are we at with the attendance?
So attendance will be lifted. I'm not sure if it's 100%, but it's definitely going to be more than we had last year. But I think as far as governor's orders, there are no restrictions on outside capacities.
Right.
But that's not Wake County.
Okay,
Wake
that's what I'm
County,
asking. Yeah.
Wake County has not said yet, but they did say that they were working to increase. They're working with North Carolina High School Athletic Association to
Right.
firm out what the new requirements will be. But I do feel confident going into the fall season that there will be restrictions will be a lot looser. I mean, because this year, unfortunately, we could only have 250 home guests and 80 visitor guests at our games. And
Right.
that was a tremendous hit to us financially
Right.
and emotionally to the kids. And I'm right now speaking of football because that was our biggest sport this spring and had a great run. Hopefully everyone here knows that we made it to the state championship, fell one game
Yes.
short. But we had a great run, and those that could support. Now, when we got out to Carter Finley, man, we had half that stadium full. So
Nice.
I really
Nice.
believe that we can get more people in the stands and, just increase what we can for our kids because they deserve it. They're out there playing and competing. So they definitely, it's hard to play when no one's cheering.
That's
I
very
bet.
true. That's very true. Now, Drew, one of the things that we do know is that our booster club and our students, a lot of the support and the things that they actually get from uniforms and some of those other things, the booster club is a huge part of that. So I know that, one of the things, we have quite a few people waiting. So we're going to bring you back, Drew, and we'll bring you back towards the end of the segment. And we're going to tell our viewers how they can actually support our athletic programs and support the athletic club for the upcoming year. We all know COVID kind of threw us in a tailspin and things were a little different. So
Yes.
we learned a lot. We learned what worked, what didn't work, but we want to make sure that we can tell the community ways that they can support. And so we'll bring you back later on in the segment to talk about that. And then that way, if you send us, you can drop some things in our comments with the Booster Club link and all that other stuff. And we'll pull that up on the screen before we end today so people can know how to join, people can know how to go in and support and some of those other things too. So we're definitely excited about that, Drew. So we have, absolutely. So we have coming up one of the key people when you think about kind of, what do you call it, Alan? Like when you think of that sport, right? So our next sport that we have coming up, our next program, we have a coach and we have two student athletes who are going to be joining us to talk about kind of their program, what they do, and kind of who they are. And so we're going to go ahead, slowly pull them in. And I think that we have everyone on here. And for those that don't know, you're probably going to see a lot of us on the screen. But we're excited to have volleyball join us. And we have Coach Sierra Wheeler. And we have our student athletes are Samantha Klein, and we have Kendall Felton joining us. So we're going to turn it over to you, Coach Wheeler. Tell us about the program. Tell us, anything you want to share with us. It is truly, the stage is yours, as we like to say. It is truly all yours now.
Okay, awesome. Sweet. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. My name is Sierra Wheeler, and I will be coaching. Well, this will be my third year coaching at Rolesville High School. This will be my 7th year coaching volleyball. And I brought on 2 of my exemplary student athletes who have been leading the team for the past 2 years. So I want to let them introduce themselves as well.
So my name's Kendall. I've been with Rolesville for the past 4 years, and Coach Wheeler was my coach for the past 3. And I was captain my most recent year for my senior year, and it was a great experience overall for all 4 years, especially with Coach Wheeler.
Hi, I'm Samantha Klein. I'm only a sophomore, but I've had Coach Wheeler as my varsity coach for both years that I've been at Rolesville, and I've had a great experience on the volleyball team with her coaching.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. So some of our goals that we have, especially for this year, is to just increase, our community service. So we are really open to more opportunities to be out in the community, host camps and really be recognized as a team that is servicing the community. And another goal that we have is just to establish ourselves as a very competitive team. And the way that we are trying to do that is just by spending more time together as a team. And that would be through community service, and also making sure that our girls have the most opportunities to train and have the best equipment, have the spirit items that they need without coming out of pocket, making sure that they know that we value them as athletes and we value their time and their commitment and the time that they spend away from their studies and their school. So we want to make sure that we are building ourselves up as a team. So far, we've done a lot better aside from the COVID year. Our winning percentage does keep improving, but we see that through our team just working together and training together and having those opportunities that we are improving more and more every year and getting our players like Kendall to play at higher levels and getting them more opportunities to be seen. So those are our most important goals for our team.
And how is your season? Has it been impacted by COVID? Did y'all have to change times of year when you played? And
Yes, we normally play during the fall.
Yeah.
We start during the summer normally, and we play during the fall. This time our season was from, I believe it was from November to, yeah, it started officially in November, ended in January. So it's a little colder than we were used to. And we also didn't play as many games, and there were restrictions as far as how many players we could have at practice and things like that. And so the less opportunity we have to actually train and train together, the less chances we have of actually winning and being able to practice like we normally do. And so that kind of hurt us a little bit. But I think the girls are more motivated this year because they didn't get the same opportunity as they would have. So we started last week or a couple weeks ago our off-season workouts, and we've had a lot of girls that have actually come because I think they're itching to actually get out there and play.
Now, I do have a question for Kendall, because you are a senior this year. So you won't have that opportunity next year, of course, because you're graduating and things like that. So what does the future look like for you when you look at the sport of volleyball?
Well, I'll actually be playing in college at Barton, so I'll still be involved a lot. But when it comes to Roseville, since it's pretty close to home, I plan on coming back every now and then and checking in with Coach Wheeler and stuff. And I was actually just gonna text her and see if I could come in for like off season just to like play volleyball a little bit. Yeah.
Of course.
And Samantha, I know for you, you are a sophomore now, but one of the things I was telling Coach Wheeler in the actual kind of in our pre-show interview, I said, oh, I remember Samantha. She played in middle school with my daughter. So I know for you looking at this sport, being a sophomore, you've kind of been through the COVID year, actually COVID 2 years, if you think about it, almost, because it's impacted 2 seasons for some sports. What does the future look like for you when we look at the sport of volleyball?
It's definitely itching to get back on the court, and definitely a lot of motivation to push harder than I have before to get back to where I was and to keep that level and continue to grow, because we did kind of lose a year of growth there a little bit. So it's just itching to get back out there and improve even more.
So what do you guys do for training? So I know that we've kind of been in the off season and we've seen some things. So what tips would you have for any of those students who are going to see this on Twitter or things like that? You know, Kendall, you are going to play collegiate. You know, that's a whole nother level and a level of intensity. So what advice or experience can you, kind of words of wisdom can you share with some of those student athletes?
I would honestly say even when you're not like playing hands-on that sport, get in the gym and work out, go for a run, just do whatever you can, because while you're sitting down doing nothing, there's always somebody that's training to be better than you. And honestly, you need to reach out to coaches. If you are looking to play collegiate volleyball, reach out as soon as you can. Send emails, get that highlight tape together, whatever you need to do. And then you also need to be going to like different, whatever you can to play, like contact high school coaches, club coaches for volleyball, and they will give you the time to play. They'll give you a gym. They'll do all that. If you reach out and show that you're trying to be better, they'll help you most definitely. So don't be scared to reach out first and take that first step.
Oh, wow. Alan, you have anything?
No, I love volleyball. My kid plays club, so I love hearing about all the volleyball. But I'm looking at the time, and I know we've got some. Who do we have next? Track representative coming up.
We're gonna roll into our next segment. I know I see quite a few of our baseball, softball on. So we're actually going to. But before we roll on to them, I do want to say to Coach Wheeler, to Kendall, and to Samantha, thank you guys so much.
Yes.
I mean, really coming on to talk about volleyball. I know it was a tough year. I know what it's like to have to play when it's colder. And I know those little things impact you guys. But I've seen Samantha play. I know the talent that she has. Unfortunately, Kendall, I didn't get to see you, but I am subscribed to that streaming. So if it's streamed, I can go in and actually watch you play some. And to Coach Wheeler, definitely, if there's anything we can do to help you, to assist you in any way, we definitely want to be a resource to the high school and to your programs, because what you're doing really matters. It really does. And it means a lot to us. So we're definitely excited about that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. And guys, when you leave, just click the little X at the bottom to leave the studio, and then go online and, stream us and share and comment so we can pull you back into the segment. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
Whoops. You're quicker clicking than I am.
Right? I mean, it's like, when you look at usually people have their production team, in the background and managing it and kind of keeping things going. But we're going to roll into our next group. And this next group, I see, and it's so funny for us because you guys don't see it on your side, but we can see everything they're doing kind of off camera as they quote unquote sit in the weight room. I see Nadia playing with her hair. I see Coach Gross back there. He keeps rubbing his chin and some other stuff. So we're going to roll into it. Alan, if you can cue them up to bring them in the studio with us. But next up, we have our baseball program. We are excited to have Coach Gross. We have Zach from baseball. And then we have one of our student athletes. We have Nadia Sykes, who's also going to be joining us to talk about their programs, which we are excited about. And then I'll kind of turn it over to you, Alan, kind of talk to them, lead into it, and all that other wonderful stuff.
Well, the one thing I was tasked with, and Zach doesn't know it, but pronouncing his last name, is it Petrowski?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right.
There you go. And we got Jake Gross and Nadia Sykes. Tell us a little bit about, so we're talking baseball, softball, right? Tell us about those two programs. We'll just go in the order I'm seeing on the screen. Zach, lead us off.
All right. So this year's been difficult because of COVID. Coach Gross is a great coach. And we really are we want to get more involved in the community, and we need to be known more of community events because we want to get out there and support the community and to give back to our community so they can give back to us, because as of right now, we need bleachers, we need lights for our field, and we need irrigation for our field, and we have to fundraise all that money ourselves. And that's really difficult for us, especially during this COVID time.
What kind of fundraising things are y'all doing? Do you have stuff already up and running or in the pipeline, in the queue? Or
currently we're doing a snap raise. I don't know if it's still going. I'm on top of that. But you could also sponsor through the Boost Club, and money will go to us too.
Okay.
And we'll let Coach talk about that. Look, let's pull Coach in.
Yeah.
And then that way he can kind of tell us a couple of things and kind of lead us into it. And I got to get a hat. Everybody is wearing like the best paraphernalia on this stream. And I'm like, over here, looking in my closet, like, do I have any gear? So you guys need to make sure after this that Alan and I have some good Rolesville gear. We'll get with Drew to make sure we can hit up that shop too. But thank you for joining us, Coach Gross.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us, and a pleasure to be here, and glad to be able to talk to you guys about everything that baseball wise, and talk a little bit about softball. I'll let Nadia do that a little bit later. But thank you guys for having us on the show. One of the good things about being a baseball coach is you get a new hat every year. So I think I'm up to about 12 or 13 different hats now, different styles. And every time I try to make sure that I wear a different one at least every day, different one for practice, just to kind of rotate them so they don't get too dirty. This one's a little dirty because the field is very, very dry. Like Zach said earlier, one of the things that we fundraise for, and we do a great job with fundraising. I mean, our parents and the community that they reach out to have been fantastic from the time that I got here. This is my 6th year here, and we have progressed so far, and compared to what we were when we first got here. When I first got here, when I walked out to the baseball field when I was interviewing for it, I saw all we had was a chain link fence. We didn't have batting cages. We didn't have mounds to warm up on. We didn't even have a storage shed out there for anything. And the community has done a great job of rallying behind us, and even go ahead and adding into going into their pockets and helping us out the best we possibly can. They've done a great job of showing up for different types of days, work days. Sorry, my battery was starting to die, and I don't know.
Listen, we understand. Yeah. We totally get it.
Getting back to we've had great success with people showing up and helping us out with everything everything that we have out there. We've come a long way. We've got field turf, or not field turf. We got field turf for batting cages. We are able to get field turf for our bullpens now. We also were able to get new dugouts. A couple years ago, we had some donors, and we raised the money to get new dugouts, and the parents really stepped up and kind of put those together, which really helps because times like right now when it's 85 degrees outside, if we just had a chain link fence with no roof on, we'd be baking out there. So we really didn't have a whole lot to start off with. Like Zach said, we don't have lights. And that's one of the things that we're working on. Every other team in our conference does have lights, so it's a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes down to it when you're not able to practice at night. So when you go out and play a night game, you're not seeing it consistently. It is something that is a little bit difficult to try to adjust in that aspect. So, but we've done a great job. Like I said, our parents and the community have really helped us out with getting the things that we need. And I think right now with our last fundraiser, we're up to almost about $9,000, which will help us towards irrigation, because right now it hasn't rained, and when there's no rain, our field doesn't get watered, and which means that the dirt that we have and the grass doesn't grow. And, it's just kind of a little bit of a mess. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, especially because our season has just started a couple of weeks ago. We did get pushed back from the beginning of it. We normally start in February, but we started middle to end of April, and we go all the way until the end of school year. So June 10th is actually our last game. We still have 3.5 weeks left in the season, and it's only going to get warmer and hotter and drier out there for us. So, but like I said, thank you guys for having us. The players and the parents have done a fantastic job. We like to do community service as well. We've done things with the Miracle League of the Triangle before. We've done where we've adopted a family at Christmas time to try to give them gifts. So this way they can experience a little bit of Christmas spirit in that aspect. We try to give back as much as we can, but we definitely would like to get more involved in it. And I know I have a lot of players that would love to get that, to do that and do that at the goodness of their heart.
Now, Coach, I do have one question for you. You talked about the actual the lights on the field. What's the cost of those lights?
So we've gotten a quote, and you're looking right around $300,000 for baseball and softball. Because to be honest, if we were to raise the money for baseball, we wouldn't be able to put lights on just the baseball field, because it would be one of those things where a baseball and softball would have to get both of them at the same time.
About 150 each is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
But
it's actually it's more like 180 for baseball and 150 for softball. Just because our field's a little bit bigger and we require more poles and more electricity in that aspect.
But it also sounds like you've got maybe a priority list, and is irrigation before that, or
the irrigation would definitely be before that, because it's more attainable right now. We are never going to be able to raise $300,000 between the two programs. Even if we did, it would take 15, 20 years. So the option of getting lights is really a far stretch, unless we were to get some sort of donor that would donate it for us. We would not be able to fundraise for that at all. But irrigation, we did just put in a $20,000 scoreboard last year, a nice 9-inning scoreboard. And then dugouts, I know softball is still looking to try to get their dugouts, and it's something that anything that's about less than $20,000 or $30,000 is something that we can attain over a couple of years. Anything over that, it's really difficult to kind of fundraise, especially with the type of equipment that we have to do and seeding every year to try to make sure that we have the nice grass out there on the field. So this way we have the nice playing surfaces, just like all the other schools.
Well, Coach, I do know I do know the work that it takes to keep up a lot of those fields, especially when you just think about the small things. But speaking of softball, let's go ahead and pull Nadia in to talk about the softball program. I'm familiar with Nadia. She hit a couple of good ones on us this year. My daughter plays for not Rolesville, but she plays for another school. And I can definitely tell you, I have been following you for a number of years and seeing your growth and seeing you develop as a player. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your future plans. Because I follow you, I kind of know already, but tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm very glad to be here. So my name is Nadia. I am a junior at Rolesville. I've been a part of the varsity softball program since my freshman year. I am currently committed to go play college softball at North Carolina State University. And a few things about the program is this year was a little weird because of COVID. Last year, our year kind of got shut down, and this year we played, I think, 9 games, and that's not a lot at all. We have a very young team. Primarily, we have freshmen and sophomores. There's about 5 upperclassmen of 14 girls we had on the team this year. Thinking back on my past 3 years at Rolesville, I've created some very, very fond memories of the program. This year, talking fundraising wise, this year we raised about $10,000, and over all of that, we were able to get a warning track around the outside of our field because we've had some pretty bad fence incidents before. We were able to add some clay on our pitcher's mound and in our batter's boxes. And just around the program, we have a very great support system full of parents and fans that have really helped us with our fundraising. And like Coach Gross said, right now we're trying to get our dugouts because right now we just have a chain link fence and no roof. So during those really, really hot games or the rainy days that we still have to play, it kind of sucks.
You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. You feel it.
I have to hide all the stuff in the shed. So, yeah, that's.
Now, I do know, Nadia, you are like an awesome shortstop. I mean, like, for real. I can't. If you guys go watch her highlight reel, like, seriously, she makes plays and throws that I can't even begin to describe of how she actually makes it work. But I think that's just a little snippet of what goes into being a student athlete, which I think is so great. And I know quite a few of you all at Rolesville. And so I kind of want to ask a question of the students. You know, Zach, I know you talk some, and Zach has a fan club in our comments. I can see that. Susan, we see you. So we do know you have a fan club out there. One of the things I do want to ask Zach and Nadia, the year that you guys had with COVID and looking at what's coming up ahead, what advice do you have for those students who are looking to play softball and baseball? What words of wisdom and tips can you share with them?
I would say, no, you got it.
Are you sure? Okay. So definitely with the COVID year, I feel like it is a great opportunity to get outside work on and truly work on your craft. I mean, you're sitting at home all day, most of us are, and you can go out to the softball field or go to the gym. I know me personally, I like to go to the gym and I like to go work out with some of the other softball players. We get a little group together, we go hit and we go field and work on everything that we need to work on. So definitely in the COVID year, I feel like it's a great opportunity for everybody to truly perfect things that they want to perfect in the softball, things that they want to work on softball wise. And yeah.
And what about you, Zach?
I would say don't take anything for granted as an athlete, because I know our seniors last year only got 4 or 5 games in maybe. And I know us on JV last year, because I was a sophomore, we got 3 games in. And like Nadia said, take advantage of that opportunities to go work out, because last year, second COVID hit, I ended up hurting my arm and I missed all last year. And I thought I wasn't going to get to play this year. And I was able to use that time to get back in the gym, go to physical therapy and get stronger. So that's the thing I've learned the most, is to not take any of those times on the field for granted.
Well, I can say that I have not had an opportunity to see baseball play yet. And I know the season is still going on. I do know a JV player, and I think I know a couple of the varsity players too, just from following them on Twitter. So
we played tomorrow before.
Look, thank you for putting me on the spot, Zach. You're like, you know what? You know what, Miss Rachel? 4 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Now, Coach, I do have, there's a great comment that we got on Facebook that kind of lets us know what that potential field could look like. So it looks like Chad Smith commented that Allen Smith field sounds real good for about $300K.
Okay.
So,
now that you say it like that, I was trying to figure out what they meant by that. I got you. Yeah.
You got it now. Look, it sounds real good. So that's the way. I do want to say thank you all so much for joining us. Coach, any last words you want to leave our viewers with?
We're just, we're thankful to be a part of this community and watching it grow. I know it's been growing over the past so many years, and just working with such a wide range of players has really fulfilled me with a lot of things. And I'm grateful to be a part of this, and I'm thankful for you guys to invite us. And I just, I look forward to what the next 20 so years could look like in Rolesville, and starting with you guys and with the school as well. So thank you guys so much for letting us be a part of this.
Thank y'all for being on.
Look, absolutely. And I don't know who Margaret Humphreys is, but if she is a fan of one of yours, she wants to let you know she is watching. So
and thanks for checking in, Mark, because we did ask people to comment that they were watching.
We asked people to comment in. So thank you guys so much. If you are now, when you do leave the studio, you just click the little X at the bottom to leave the studio, and then, view us online. Make sure that you comment, share us, and all that other wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. Next up, we have from who I see backstage. It looks like we have a couple people from the football program. We also have, I know one of the next people, so she does a lot of things. I know she's on here to represent the student section, but she is in like a ton of other stuff. So we're going to let her talk about some of those other things. But pulling in, we got Corey, we have Coach B, and we have Rory joining us to talk about all of those programs. And then what we're going to do is, I know you guys know each other very well. I know Coach B definitely knows Corey. I don't even know if you guys are like in the house separated, like she's in her room and you're in the living room or something like that. But, we're definitely glad to have you guys. There's so much we could say about football, but I'm not going to. Alan, I'll let you talk to them. Hopefully you know football better than I do. But I'm going to let you talk to them and cue it up and all that other wonderful stuff.
Well, yeah, obviously a lot of excitement about the football program this year. But all right, so I was tasked with saying one name here. Let's see if I can do this. Roy Jones, Amen. Hey, Top. Is that right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
All right, correct me. Correct me. What's the last name?
It was Rory Jones, Amen Hatep. So you got pretty much.
Hatep. There you go. Okay.
Listen, Rory, let me tell you something. I believe in a person's name, man. I'm gonna tell you. I believe in a person's name, and if I don't see you or talk to you today, Drew's gonna make sure I connect with you because I'm gonna get that name down pat. Corey can tell you that's just how I operate, and that's who I am. But I'm gonna turn it over to Coach B to kind of get us started, and I call him Coach B. I think most of the world calls him Coach B. I don't know anybody that doesn't call him Coach B. So I'm just gonna turn it over to you to tell us about football.
Well, thank you for having me. Coach Samick has sent his apologies, but he had to leave town for a family issue. So I got the short end of the straw here to talk to you. So he's our front man. He's definitely more charismatic than me. So hopefully I'll do it justice. But you can have him on again later on. He's fun to have and to talk to. But football team, we almost did the job we set out to every year. Our goal is to win the state championship. We came close. We had a wonderful season. We
best season in the history of Rolesville football, right?
Definitely. 7 years of varsity. This is our first final appearance, hopefully the first of many. We won the NAC 6, the Northern Athletic Conference, too, and that was our first time winning that. We've done a lot of firsts this year. We started a rivalry game with Heritage a few years ago, and it's the first time we won I think it's the backyard rivalry or something like that. So we won that. Cool. And obviously we won the Eastern Regionals, which brought us to the finals. So as a program, we did pretty well this year, and very proud of all of our players, Rory and everybody. One of the other accomplishments for us is that we had over 130 players participate this year in our spring season. That's the most we've had participate in our program since the start. And I believe 65% of schools in North Carolina talked about a decline in participation due to COVID and other reasons for football. And we increased. We went from 115 or so to we added 15 more players to the program. And we still thought that we were going to end up having more, but COVID actually brought that number down a bit. But 130 players participating in some pretty trying times was, I think, very impressive. Trying to think of other achievements. I believe we had 11 all-conference players, and wow. I want to say 5 players were represented as all-state players. Byron Brown, Mr. Brown's son, was the NAC 6 Player of the Year, and Noah Rogers was the Special Team Player of the Year. Olu Adewumi was made the Shrine Bowl. That's an all-star game, but they didn't get to play the all-star game this year, but that is a very difficult all-star team to make. And we're sending as of right now, we have 2 people, Olu Adewumi and Ethan Harris, are going to college for football and for education. Olu will be attending Hampton University, and Ethan was appointed to the Air Force Academy. So both will be playing football there and getting great education.
Nice. And so Corey, what is your position in the program? What do you do?
That's kind of a difficult description to fill, but
okay.
I'm an athlete. I know a bunch of all the sports that go on within the school.
Okay.
I'm my dad's daughter, so I know a lot of things that go on through the team.
Okay.
And lastly, I'm a student section kind of school spirit leader during the football season. So I kind of get me and a couple of people kind of the whole student body to get pumped for all the games that happen during the fall, but now during spring this year.
Gotcha. It looks like we've got the information with Rolesville Riot on the screen there. So is Rolesville Riot? And I missed the @ symbol. Yeah. It looks like you're hanging a little bit.
That's our student Instagram, student run. We post themes. We have a little theme kind of each week for every game. Kind of announcements, whatever is going on. That's where we let everyone know what's going on.
Great. Awesome. Now, Roy, what about you? What's your position? I'm assuming you're a player on the team, and what's your position, or what do you do?
Yes, sir. So I play wide receiver at Rolesville.
Yeah.
I'm a sophomore, first year playing varsity. So it was a good learning experience this year. Just learning everything and learning how to win.
Yeah. So what do y'all do? I mean, y'all had a great year. What do you do different next year there? How do you prepare the same way? Do you and Coach B might want to chime in on that one too. Do you shift your training at all? How does that go?
So I'll go first. I think that we might do a lot of the same stuff, but I think we're having emphasis on lifting a little bit more, getting a little bit stronger, faster. Just probably getting more people involved. I assume we're going to have more people playing in the fall season, so we're going to have more numbers. But, yeah, I think we're going to do a lot of the same stuff, but I know Coach Samick's made emphasis on getting bigger, faster, stronger. He wants players just running track or lifting, so I think the emphasis is on getting bigger and stronger.
Gotcha. What do you think, Coach B? What are y'all doing for next year?
That's a definite emphasis. Since day one with Coach Samick, he has emphasized his support of the track team and how our players need to be fast, need to be faster. And the only way you get faster is you get stronger. They both go hand in hand. And we've taken great strides in the weight room, but we have committed to improving that. And that's probably our biggest focus. Our focus has always been on track, and track is super successful, and we share so many great players with the track program. But taking the weight room to the next level is really one of our main focuses in off season, which is a very short off season. But we are really going to try to intensify that to get the maximum out of the time that we have before the start of the next season.
Awesome. And it looks like the mayor's tuned in. He says, "Great job, Ram football."
Look, as you say, you kind of made it when the mayor is watching. You guys. I will say one thing about Mayor Curran is he supports your program wholeheartedly. He's always speaking wonderful things about the football program and actually all of the programs over at Rolesville High. So we definitely are. I would say we're blessed to have Mayor Curran as our mayor, as we were to have Mayor Frank Eagles, who was before him. So we've definitely been blessed to have great leadership. Looking at our programs and looking at a lot of the things that you all have been doing, of course, football for the past 2 years has just kind of soared, right? You mentioned Rolesville now. Everybody's looking at your program. You guys are like that team that everybody's talking about, and they want to, ask a couple of questions. But one of the things that I love is that as we do that, the reason why we do programs like this is we have, we look at our businesses here in Rolesville, and we have the bypass in between the school and in between our businesses in downtown. And of course, we're going to bring Drew back on, who's the president of the Booster, to talk about things that we can do. But we look at programs coming up like the parade, right? So the parade is happening next Wednesday, May 26th at 1:00 downtown. It's the first time we're doing a parade for the high school. And we are really excited about doing this parade, because I'll tell you, Coach B, one of the things I want is for you guys to do a homecoming parade through downtown. I tell people I'm not trying to turn this into a Friday Night Lights town. It wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think that the more connection we have with the students who are at the school, with our community, we will see there's so much support that you guys have. And we think about how can we help your programs, and what can we do? And I'm going to ask this question of Rory or of Corey, which one of our businesses, and I'll tell you, he is the president of the Rolesville Chamber Board. He is the owner of Mitchell Heating and Cooling. If you are any team in Rolesville, I think you've seen his name on everything, Alan Mitchell. So we're going to pop Alan's question up again when we bring Drew on. But to the students, what can local businesses do to support the students at Rolesville High School? And Corey, you should be prepared for this, because I trained you. So you should be ready.
Yeah. I know for sure, based on being a student and an athlete, having is there, kind of like, what was I going to say? Community being there at all the games, kind of promoting. It makes me think of Wake Forest football and Wake Forest, the town of Wake Forest itself. They're all about their school. They're all about their team. The whole community, despite not even having their child in the school, is there at the game. They love their Cougars, and having that same support in Rolesville, now that we're big and booming, is always like loved and needed and wanted. So I think just always having the community there to have your back at every game, I'm always a big social media person. So if you're always posting it on social media, that's always a huge push for people to see, oh, wow, on Facebook, my neighbor is at the game. That's pretty cool.
Now, what about you, Rory?
Yeah, I think kind of how it was in 2019, where the football players, we sold these little booklets of fundraisers. So I think if local businesses, they enter into these booklets where we sell them and fundraise with them, I think that'll help a lot. Because 2019, I believe we did a real good job donating. We raised a lot of money. I think that's part of the reason why we got new jerseys this past year. So I think if they enter a claim in that will help. And just kind of what Corey said with coming to the games and helping promote us, and at the same time we promote them a little bit. I think that all correlates to helping us at the end.
Now, Coach B?
Well, yeah, the first and foremost is that we want to be part of the community, and we love when the community's part of Rolesville High School. So many different facets. It's a natural fit. I know you said you don't want to be a Friday nights lights town, but
I can't push that. I can't push Friday Night Lights. Corey could tell you I'm an equal opportunity person, and being a former athlete myself. I did play basketball in college, and I play basketball in high school, and played tennis and played softball and did track. So being an athlete, I don't particularly push one sport. I push all sports. So that's my disclaimer, Coach B. Oh, okay. Look, that's my disclaimer.
But I believe Tuesday nights, the Tuesday night basketball game, or the playoffs for baseball and softball and stuff. I think that's like all those teams need those supports and participation. Friday nights it's a thing of its own all around the nation. But I really think that the community can start supporting some of our smaller sports where you don't get as big of crowds. That's, or promoting them more. I think that would be fantastic. As far as everything and anything can always be beneficial to the program. I think one of the things that would be extremely beneficial to the football program as well as the soccer programs and the softball and baseball is an improvement in our weight room. We do have a very small weight room, and we do need to upgrade that a great deal, and that benefits all the sports too. But yeah, like Corey said, just seeing the community and being part of the community is huge for the high school in general. I do want to say that one of our favorite, and I remember Coach Samick saying it specifically, one of his favorite events since he's moved here was the holiday parade in Roseville, and how we walked the street and gave out candy, and our kids were in the float and our players were out there. So all of that stuff was a lot of fun, and we really missed out on that this past year and being able to do that again. So we're looking forward to hopefully more health and better situation where we can participate again in parades and more activities in the community.
Well, one of the things we've been doing, and that's great to hear because I help organize the parade, but one of the things we've been showing kind of how rising freshmen about your virtual meeting, but also we wanted to put up here about your summer workout starting on June 14th. And then kind of making sure that, you know, as you refer parents and people tune in, that they actually can see on here that, you know, all of the things that are attached to participating in that. And then also making sure that people understand what needs to happen, especially with having those physicals done and having all of that information on file. And then also we want people to know that, you know, if you want to follow the football team, you can do that on Twitter at Rolesville Ram F1, or you can go to their website and find more information about them. I know that, you know, there's a lot that we have in store for what's coming with our programs. One of the persons we have not mentioned tonight is Principal Lassiter. She is a huge, huge, huge part of a lot of the great things that are happening at the school. And I would be truly remiss if I did not mention her tonight. But I know we got a couple of comments in there about some things that need to happen. So I'm going to pull some people in that are still on, and then we can all, Coach G, I know Coach Gross, he's still on here. I don't know if he's able to talk or not, but if you're still on here, I can pull you back in with this too. I see his camera is off. But, you know, I do want to make sure we have everybody on. And that camera popped on real quick, boy. He's like, yeah, bring me back, bring me back. So I do know that, you know, while we're here and all of us are on, we can definitely hit some of those comments. I'm going to pull this up again. This person, once again, Alan Mitchell with Mitchell Heating and Cooling, he said, we need to get lights on your baseball field. Now, Alan, it's not just baseball. We will do baseball and softball. You know, we do them both at the same time. So if Mitchell Heating and Cooling is looking to help get some of that done, you know, we can always put you in contact with someone. Coach Gers, do you know Mr. Mitchell? You know Alan Mitchell?
I'm not sure. I do know that I have a couple friends that are friends with Mr. Mitchell. And one of my previous assistant coaches, I think, are friends with them, or the Metz family.
Well, I will tell you, the Mitchell family has definitely been around for a long time. Also, his son plays baseball, and he's a Citadel grad. So he's a bit crazy about baseball. I will tell you that much. We also
I think Alan used to play. I think I might have actually played with him like in the 9th grade or something.
I'm telling you, he's a huge fan of the programs, and definitely want to make sure that we have support. So one of the things, I'm going to put this back up here, Drew, which was this question: what can local businesses do to support the Rolesville Rams? I'm going to pop that question back up. And then that way, as the president of the Booster Club, you can definitely let us know, you know, what are some things that the businesses can do to support. You're muted again, Drew.
Got you. Thanks for asking. I mean, it's definitely a two-way street because we want to support the businesses as well. And that's one of the things that we have done by participating in the parade, barbecue, and bands, but just supporting our fundraisers. First of all, we have the Boston Butt every year. That's a big deal. We have the golf tournament twice a year. Those are easy ways to sponsor and support. But then we have our larger sponsor packages, and they're available on our website again, where you can purchase sponsorship and be promoted in our different, whether it's the baseball field, softball field, inside the gymnasium, or the football field. So there are a lot of different places that you can sponsor. And then we have some special projects. I mean, you've heard that we need softball dugouts. You heard that we need lights. We have storage facilities that we need. We need a scores table in the gymnasium. I mean, there are a lot of ways that the community can support. And again, we want to support you by making sure that you get your visibility and that we get your name out and letting them know that you are a part, because we want to be community driven. I mean, partnerships are the key to making this relationship work, because it's nothing I like more than to see we were walking around the farmers market and we saw people wearing Rolesville Rolesville high school t-shirts. That makes me smile. I want to see, and that's one of the things that we are trying to push, is being out there at all the events as much as possible, selling our paraphernalia so that people can see it. We want Rolesville pride. I mean, and I'm not just talking about football pride, baseball pride. We got a lot of non-revenue sports, the tennis, the golf, the lacrosse, swimming, gymnastics, stunt, cheer, wrestling. And I know I'm forgetting somebody, charging to my head, not my heart. I see the time's running down. But we definitely want everyone to understand that we are one Rolesville, and we're just going to, I mean, we're young. We're 6-7 years old. So we're going to get better. And you know, the football team did have a great season this year. Baseball is starting off with a good season. Track is looking forward to a good season. And obviously winning makes people want to support more. It was a tough year this year because we lost a lot of sponsorships, understandably, because their businesses weren't making money. So they can't afford to support us when they can't support their family. But hopefully we're going to turn the table and get back to where we need to be so that we can keep instilling that Rolesville pride to make this the best high school in Wake County. That's what I believe.
Drew, I will tell you, speaking of cheer, you know, they wanted to let us know RHS cheer family is watching. So, you know, speaking of that, you know, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, Crystal. We really appreciate it. We love it when everyone supports. We also have our Mayor Pro Tem who's watching us live. Michelle Medley's watching. You know, she had a shout out for Coach Gross. You know, she wanted to let you know it's been a minute. And also for Drew. So the one thing that we love to see is when people are commenting and let us know. One of the things we can definitely say is that we know all of our sports. And there's Alan again saying, make them all revenue sports. You know, we want to make sure that the high school knows how much the community supports them. And we also want to make sure that as we do this, and as you mentioned, the school is new. You know, we're all kind of working this out and making sure we can cross that bridge and make that median work. And then also having our students on to talk to. If you know anything about me, I'm a huge advocate for our youth. Corey has been a part of my Youth Leadership Rolesville program. She spent over a year with me and longer getting training and all that other stuff. So Coach B, you already know. I'm looking at her like, you better answer these questions. You've been taught how to answer them properly. But that's just part of what you look at, what we do for this community. So I say to all the coaches watching and anyone, the reason we're holding this is because we want to help be a part of that median. We kind of want to help build that bridge. Alan Smith, Realtor, is one of our sponsors of this segment when we hold it. He is here in the community. Alan, how long have you actually lived in Rolesville?
Well, so in Roseville, a year, but when we first moved to the area back in the early 80s, we moved to Wake Forest in 83, and I attended Wake Forest Roseville High School. So, you know, obviously I know it's apart now. So I'd like to think there's a piece of me that went to that Roseville, right? Back in the day. I'm a kind of an alumni, maybe.
But I think that that's one of the things that's important too, is as we look at our community growing, we all know what's coming in the next couple of years. There's a ton of subdivisions that are approved to be built, and a ton of things that, with the huge one coming right across from the high school in the next couple of years. So we know all of that will help feed into the programs. And Drew, you've mentioned quite a few good things. Can you guys tell us anything that is coming up? I know we've been sharing information about workout dates and things like that. But are there any other programs that are going on or things like that? I know baseball is happening. Is there anything else that you guys can tell us? I know track is also happening. Tennis is happening. All of those sports are happening. It's an odd year for us when it comes to sports. So anything else you want to let us know about?
Well, yes, I know that we are hosting the conference, the NAC 6 conference track meet, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So we'll have an opportunity to host Wakefield, Wake Forest, Heritage, and Corinth Holders at our school in a couple of Saturdays. So that's going to be a pretty big deal. I know baseball, you said, Coach Gross, you said your schedule ends on the 10th. Is that when playoffs ends? Because I know we're going to be in the playoffs. Is that when playoffs ends?
No, that's when the regular season ends. We are in the 4th week of a 7-week schedule. So, the regular season ends on June 10th, and then the playoffs start the very next week.
Gotcha. So we'll have baseball playoffs. I know we're hosting a jamboree for football again this year. That'll be on August the 13th. Those are the things that immediately come to mind.
Okay.
But I tell you, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Rachel. We didn't have enough of our coaches and people here. I want to do it again. I want us to have a part 2 of Rolesville Athletic.
We can. I don't think Alan will say no. I mean, I think we've shown from anytime you have your mayor tuning in live, your mayor pro tem, your Roseville Chamber chair board tuning in live. I think we got enough power players that tuned in to basically say, yes, we support you coming on again.
Absolutely.
I do know there's another, there's also, as your fans tune in, Donna's at #Villside. So we do know that, quite a few people are watching and people are commenting and letting us know that they're there. But the good question from Alan is, any big college commits this year? I know we mentioned some from football, and we heard from Nadia earlier that she's committed to play at NC State, a future Wolfpacker. And we know Kendall is going to Barton. So any other commits that you guys know about that are actually going off to college this year?
We're hoping for a few more coming up. Again, with COVID in college and eligibility, it's become kind of a big mess on a lot of fronts. So we're still looking. We know a few of our players are still looking, and we're waiting for a couple of commitments from them too. But nothing right now other than Olu and Ethan.
Okay, all right. And I see Byron checked in the background, but over Dad's shoulders. Hey, Byron.
Yeah, he just got home, so that's why he didn't commit on the show. He had an appointment that he wasn't going to be here, but I said since he's here, he can stop in and say hello.
We do appreciate it. Now, Corey, you are a senior this year, so tell everyone watching what's up next for you.
I am going all the way to the University of Arizona to major in chemistry.
I knew that already. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. I don't know if Coach B is as excited as I am for you, but I am definitely excited for you. I know what a wonderful student you are. Coach Gross, you have any baseball updates you want to give us or anything happening on your end?
Going back to your question you had about commits, right now we do have 3 kids that are verbally committed to play baseball at the next level, and we're in the process of getting 3 more. So 6 of our 8 guys will be hopefully going somewhere to play college ball somewhere. We sent 3 out of 4 guys last year. We've been sending about on average 3 or 4 kids into college every year to play baseball at the next level. So, something that we pride ourselves on and trying to get to the college level, as well as making sure that we stay on the grades and being good people. So this year right now we have Kevin Jones, the second, he's going to Lenore Community College. Noah Thomas is going to Guilford Tech Community College, and right now Gabe is going to Mid Atlantic U. So we're still working on that, and we have 3 more guys that could be coming soon or before the end.
Yeah. Now I know that we have Rory. I know you have been popping in and out. It's just the wonderful world of what we live in. What would you like to share, especially being a student? You're kind of in this environment with coaches. You got your town officials watching, all of this other wonderful stuff. What is something that you would like to share from a student perspective?
Oh yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. This Wi-Fi, it was acting a little crazy, but
it's everybody, baby. It's not just you.
Yeah, but from the student perspective, with COVID, it's been a little crazy, but as far as thriving through it, I think as long as you have keep a stable head, just work through it, be persistent. I think you should have been fine through a pandemic, but yeah, it was challenging, but I think most of the football players, I think they worked pretty good through it. Just working out, keeping a stable head on their shoulders. We did. I think we all did good, including all the sport athletes, not just football, but it was challenging to say the least. Though.
Yeah, I will say I think football did a fantastic job. Coach Samick, if he was here, he said that the only person that could beat Rolesville was Rolesville and COVID. And we did a good job of beating COVID, and we didn't beat ourselves. We just, unfortunately, just came up one game short. But, all the sports, I don't think we really, we had some COVID cancellations, but I think 90% of them were the other team. So I think our student athletes were serious about staying safe and doing the right thing so that they could compete and represent Rolesville.
Well, I do want to say, I know that looking at the clock, and I know it's always wonderful. I do appreciate people taking time out, especially out of the long day. I know that the women's basketball program could not join us this evening, but they also, I do know they have new coaches over at the women's basketball program, and I'll just put their info at the bottom for anyone that is watching and may have questions or want to know how to reach them. And also, one of the things with having the new coaches is she did send over a notice to let me know that for women's basketball, November 1st is the official start date of their season. Not that I'm biased towards basketball because I'm an athlete and I play basketball, but I did have the info, so I decided to share. Always want to let people know any way that we can help. Alan, you have anything that you want to go over before we wrap up?
No, I just want to challenge if there's any other business owners. I mean, like I said, I've gotten to back into this area about a year ago, and with COVID, you wonder where you can plug in or what games you can go to, whatever. So I just want to challenge any other fellow business owners. I'm going to go over to the website, click through and join as a booster member and do some of those things too. So thank y'all for sharing how we can plug in. And if there's any other folks that are listening to the replay that want to plug in, I challenge you to do the same.
Rachel, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry to one of our heroes of the season. I forgot to mention that Devin Verstegen is going to Shaw to kick and for college, and he was a big hero for us, kicking the winning field goal in double overtime. So I wanted to make sure that I did mention that, and we have a few more that hopefully we'll get through soon. But I don't think I'd hear the end of it from Coach Samick if I didn't mention Devin's commitment to Shaw.
Well, I will tell you, I'm excited. I did not attend Shaw. I attended St. Augustine's University, which is the rival of Shaw University. And I will say I was quite impressed when I saw he was going to an HBCU. So I definitely will be at some games. My best friends are graduates of Shaw. They're on the alumni board of Shaw. I got people that work at Shaw. So, and also he is my neighbor down the street. So I do know his mom and dad. So I do know it's going to be an interesting year at Shaw, especially when they play St. Augustine. So I will cheer for him, but root for St. Augustine to win, only because I am a Falcon, so Falcon pride. I do want to say it is truly a pleasure to have you all join us today. We will schedule you guys for the next one. For any coach or any program that was not on that sees this, I will tell you, this is a great opportunity to get your student athletes and your programs in front of your community. Working with organizations, the chamber itself, Alan, we are truly, when we look at doing programs like this, and I talked to Alan, I said, hey, I know this is outside of our normal time. It's in the afternoon, it's 6 o'clock. We can make this work. And when Drew suggested the time, I said, hey, Drew, it's whatever you want. So you let me know what we can do to make it happen. So we're definitely excited about that. We're excited to partner with you. We will get the next one on the books. Drew, we can even host one that just has the students on it. If you want your students to have some time and to talk or whatever, we are totally open to that. We can look at, if we want to bring more people on, we can definitely look at a different platform like a Zoom or something like that, where we can have up to 100 people. This just gives us more features when we use this platform. It just allows us to share a little more. We can broadcast. For those that don't know, we are streaming live on 3 different platforms at the exact same time. So we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter all at the same time, which just helps you reach a larger audience. So there's no excuse for someone to say they can't view it. So
Rachel, 2 things. One, is this recorded? Will this be able to be viewed later?
It is. It will be recorded as soon as we end. It's on Twitter now. So if you guys are on Twitter, you can just go and retweet it on Twitter. Facebook, exact same thing. The Chamber's YouTube page, that is a new YouTube page for us. So I will say to everyone watching, please follow us on social media. It definitely helps us. It definitely helps our organic reach when we're looking at reaching out to people and changing some things. And as we talk to people, it definitely helps our numbers. You guys know that. You understand that.
And it'll help them get notifications when we have new programming too. And obviously all the different social media does it different. So for example, you might not get a Facebook notification, but you might get a YouTube notification quicker. So make sure you just hit all those.
All of them. Just join everything. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, for Corey, for Rory, we had not streamed live on Twitter. I did this just for you guys because when I talk about Facebook, I already know. Corey knows me. She's been around me. Facebook is our main platform because of our audience that we reach. We are on YouTube. That's a new thing. But I will tell you, I know you guys are on Twitter. I know you're on Snapchat too. Listen, I don't do the snap. I don't snap with anybody. And I know you guys are on Instagram. Instagram is a whole nother technical conversation that I'll have at another time. But we wanted to make sure that this was an opportunity to reach the students. And also for our programs, I know our programs are active on Twitter. This also gives you an opportunity to share this on your platforms also. And then it also just puts it out there that we are here for you. We are your partners in the communities. For those that didn't know we were here, we are here. I mean, truly here to support you. You just let us know. And then also we can put you in contact with those resources if you don't know where to find those resources. So I see we also have another person that's in the comments that's letting us know. We truly thank you, Shannon, for tuning in. And we thank you also for your support of our programs and also for tuning in tonight. And if you guys see, most of our comments are from Facebook. So that should tell you something. Look, that should tell you a little something. But the good thing is when we do this, it pulls it in directly for us. So we can kind of put people on the spot. Like we have an Allen Smith Stadium coming up soon, which was committed to do something by Chad. So it's all recorded, but I will turn it over to Alan to wrap up with us for the evening. I do want to say for everyone watching, if you're looking to get involved, we have things coming up. If you follow the Chamber of Commerce, you'll see a lot of those community activities that are coming up. And those are ways for you to come out and to meet people and meet the business owners.
Sounds good. All right, so you want me to wrap up, Rachel?
Sure. Anyone have anything to say before we wrap up? Coach B, Drew, Rory, Corey. Oh, that kind of rhymes. Corey, Rory. Coach Gross, any last minute words?
No, when the students asked and the coaches asked what this was going to be, I didn't really know what to tell them, but now I feel pretty confident, and I think Corey and Rory can speak on behalf of students and the quarterback. I think it'll be less fear of what it is that you're being asked. So I think we definitely have some outstanding student athletes that we would like to bring on in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for spending your time and sharing with us and the community. Again, I want to challenge the other business owners too, if they, to get involved and go over there and donate and that kind of thing. We look forward to maybe having y'all back on as you talk about. And we do this once a month here at My Roseville Connection. Rachel just went through all the different platforms that we're on, and we do want to invite, if y'all have either ideas that you want to see on future shows of anything about Roseville, or maybe you're a potential guest too. So just let us know. There's all kinds of ways to message us. I am one of the sponsors. I'm Alan Smith. I'm a residential real estate agent here in Roseville. And then Rachel Morris is the co-host. And I want to thank her for pushing the buttons today. Normally I'm pushing the buttons and operating everything, and she's done it today on a different platform. So thank you for doing that.
We do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely follow those platforms. If you need anything, definitely reach out to us. Let us know if there's ever anything that we can do to assist you or to help you. I have the Chamber's information scrolling at the bottom of the page from the Roseville Chamber's website, which is rosevillechamber.org. You can definitely find all links to our social media. You can view our events calendar. And I will tell you also, for the Booster Club, when you guys have those big events, Drew, coming up, submit them to us on the calendar, and we'll pop them up on our calendar. That way the community and those businesses that see it, they also will be able to see some of those events too. That definitely makes a huge difference for us, and being able to do that. And once again, we have another parent and elected official, Paul Vilga, tuned in to actually say, Paul, we're so glad to have you. For those that don't know, this is Ashley Vilga's dad. He also has a student athlete. She is committed also. She's going to go run track. And I must say, I'm so proud of this young lady. She's also one of my students. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot of great athletes and students over at Rolesville High School. Always proud of them. Thank you all so much for tuning in on the various platforms. If there's ever anything we can do to assist you, my name is Rachel Morris, Executive Director of the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce. And then I got my sidekick and my trusted partner, Alan Smith, over there. If you ever need us for anything or have any real estate needs, he definitely is a person that you can reach out to. Thank you so much. You guys take care. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.